Sarah, you need to learn how to give advice, talk about possibilities, express cause and effect, make promises, request, express preferences, speculate and imagine, negotiate and compromise, and talk about the future.
Oh my god, how can I handle so many items? This is too hard. What if I told you you only need to learn one grammar item and you'll be able to express in all these situations? Interested? Thought you might. The one grammar item that you need to learn is, ta-da, conditional sentence. You're bound to learn this sentence structure in any English curriculum you're in. It's an advanced sentence structure in English that is used in various real-life situations. Now, in this video, I'll be teaching you 4 types of conditional sentences, how to form them, what tenses to use for each type, and when do we use which? Alright, sit tight. It's going to be an informative one. A conditional sentence is a type of complex sentence that expresses a condition or a hypothetical situation and its potential outcome. It is made up of 2 main parts, the if clause and the main clause. There are 4 types of conditional sentences. Let's get into it one by one. Type 0 conditional sentence. This type of conditional sentence is used to talk about the general truths and facts. The condition and the results are always true and directly connected. For example, if you mix blue and yellow, you get green. We use simple present tense in both the if clause and the main clause. Let's look at some more examples and pay attention to the tenses used. If you heat water to 100 degrees Celsius, it boils. If you don't get enough sleep, you feel tired. If you eat too much junk food, your health gets worse. If you exercise regularly, your fitness improves. So these are all type 0 conditional sentences. They're used to talk about situations that consistently happen or a fact that is universally true. Now let's move on to type 1 conditional sentence. We use type 1 conditional sentence for real and possible situations in the future where the condition is likely to happen and the result is a potential outcome. These sentences talk about something that might happen in the future if a certain condition is met. We use them to express possibilities, predictions, or warnings. For example, if you study hard, you will pass the exam. As you can see, we use simple present tense in the if clause and simple future tense in the main clause. Now, let's look at some real-life scenarios where we can use type 1 conditional sentences. Imagine you're going to a friend's birthday party tonight, but you're not sure if you can make it. You could say, if I finish my work on time, I will come to your party tonight. This means that if you complete your work on time, you will go to the party. But if you don't finish your work on time, you won't be able to attend. Another scenario could be you're planning a trip with your friends. You could say, if we book our tickets early, we will save money. This means that if you book the tickets early, you may get an early bird discount and you will save money. But if you don't, you may end up paying more. Type 2 conditional sentence. We use type 2 conditional sentences to talk about unreal or unlikely situations in the present or future, where the condition is not expected to be fulfilled, and the result is hypothetical. Let's take a look at some examples to understand it better. For example, if I won the lottery, I would travel the world. This time in the if clause, simple past tense is used. As for the main clause, we use the modal verb would plus the base form of the verb. Here are some more examples. Number 1, if I had more time, I would travel around the world. In this sentence, the speaker is imagining a different present where they have more time to travel. However, this is unlikely to happen in reality. Number 2, if she studied harder, she would pass the exam. Here, the speaker is talking about a situation in the present where the person's current level of studying is not enough to pass the exam. It implies that if the person studied harder, it would increase their chances of passing. All right, a quick sum up. We use type 2 conditional sentences to talk about imaginary situations or events that are unlikely to happen. We use the simple past tense in the if clause and the modal verb would plus the base form of the verb in the main clause. This type of sentence structure helps us imagine different scenarios and explore different possibilities. All right, last but not least, type 3 conditional sentence. I find this type of conditional sentence the most fun to use because it allows us to speculate about past events and imagine different outcomes. We use type 3 conditional sentences for unreal or impossible situations in the past where the condition did not happen and the result is purely a hypothetical outcome. For example, if she had caught the train, she would have arrived on time. We use the past perfect tense in the if clause, and we use would or could or might plus have plus the participle form of the verb in the main clause. This structure allows us to imagine how things could have been different if the past had been changed. It's like creating a parallel reality where events turned out differently. Let's look at more examples to get you familiarized with this format. Let's say you didn't wake up on time this morning and missed your train. What could you have done differently to catch your train? If I had woken up earlier, I would have caught my train. That's right. And what if you were planning a picnic, but it rained all day? You could say, if it hadn't rained, we would have had a great picnic. Okay, one more example. Let's say you forgot your homework and couldn't turn it in on time, and your teacher asked you for the homework. What could you have said? If I had remembered my homework, I would have turned it in on time. If I had remembered my homework, I would have turned it in on time. As you can see, using type 3 conditional sentences can add a playful and imaginative element to our language. We can reflect on past events and think about what could have been if things had turned out differently. Now, with these 4 types of conditional sentences, you'll be able to communicate with precision and clarity. Don't think the conditional sentences are just a grammatical concept. They are a powerful tool that allows you to convey meaning, talk about hypothetical situations, or explore different outcomes, and therefore unlock a whole new level of fluency and expression. If you think you have mastered these 4 types of conditional sentences, then I would like you to test it out. Click on this video to see if you can pass this conditional challenge. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!